we would like to call the meeting out of recess. Do I have a motion?
I move to come out of recess, please.
Do I have a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
At this time, I'd like to welcome anyone who's viewing. We welcome you tonight, and at this time, we will have a pledge of allegiance and a moment of silence. If everyone could please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This time we will move to adopt the agenda as stated. Do I have a motion?
Mayor Board, I move we adopt the agenda.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I'll turn it over to Ms. Seifert for the consider of awarding the construction of state project.
So I had intended to put this in your packet the last meeting and inadvertently left it off of the consent agenda. Gary Flowers is running this project for us through the state. We have a grant for this project. It's the sewer lift station, and he has put it out for bid and is recommending that we go with Lock Lane Construction and approve a corresponding capital project ordinance. So I just need your approval on those to be able to move forward with that.
Okay, is there any discussion at this time? A motion?
Mayor Board, I move that we consider construction award for state projects ESRPW 18-0170 and CS 370-65202 to Lock Lane Construction Incorporated.
Do I have a second? Any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
So the main reason for our meeting this evening is to go over our fiscal year 21-22 budget. And I am going to read my budget message to you this evening. If you have any questions after that, I'll be glad to answer them. Just a reminder on the process here, tomorrow we will post this on our website and we will have a physical copy available with Amber as the town clerk for anyone who would like to stop by and view it, or you can look at it online. We will also advertise in the paper on Sunday for a public hearing that will be held at your next meeting, and then we'll advertise again on June 3rd for that public hearing meeting. In the interim, if there are any questions, I'll certainly be glad to answer those. Pursuant to North Carolina General Statute, Article 159-11, my proposed budget for fiscal year 21-22 is hereby presented for your consideration. I am extremely pleased to bring you a budget that does not increase taxes, reduces electric rates, and allows for additional staff in areas that have been in need for a number of years or are experiencing growth. There are a significant number of changes in this year's budget that prepare us to meet our goals in the upcoming year and position the town for anticipated growth over the coming years. We will address these changes in detail as we move through each of the funds. First, I would like to spend a few moments reflecting on the past year's achievements. The fiscal year of 2021 was a year of change for the town. The year was painful for many of our citizens and the nation as we battled a worldwide pandemic called COVID. At the same time, it was a turning point for our town as we moved from a time of mistrust, poor leadership, and questionable finances to a time of hope, experienced leadership, and an improving financial condition. While Mr. Barefoot arrived in January of 2020 and prior to this fiscal year, he was critical to providing the leadership and stability needed to prepare us for this current time and the upcoming year. I am personally appreciative of all he has done for the town of Landis and appreciate the time he spent preparing me for this position and opportunity. The leadership team in Landis changed faces this year. with the addition of Amber Levi as Human Resources Officer and Town Clerk, Zach Lachetti as the Public Safety Officer, Rebecca Powell as our Utility Services Director, and the promotion of Jessica Stanford to Recreation Director. I have just recently been given the opportunity to transition from Finance Officer and Assistant Town Manager to Town Manager. We look forward to naming a new Finance Officer in the near future. These new faces, along with the experienced direction of Ron Miller as the Public Works Director, are the right team to take Landis successfully into the future. We are positioned for a time of unprecedented growth, and we will be ready. In addition to staff changes, we successfully handled individual utility payment plans for our customers impacted by COVID, added a payment window out front for our customers to be able to make payments safely in person, and worked diligently throughout the pandemic to meet the needs of our community. Our first responders were on the front lines. They, along with the rest of the town of Landis employees, reported for work daily throughout the pandemic. While some of our employees did contract the virus, we were able to cover for them, and thankfully everyone recovered quickly. Outside the successful handling of the pandemic, we were able to complete a number of other major goals for the town. Amber Levi is establishing a best-in-class human resources department. Accurate personnel records are now being kept. We have transitioned to a new payroll company that allows for timekeeping through a mobile app, and employees have someone they trust to talk through work and life issues that impact them here at work. Zach Lachetti has successfully combined police and fire into a public safety department that works together in support of each other instead of competing against each other. While Zach has only been here a short time, he has the fire department ready for the ISO inspection in June, policies and procedures updated in both the police and fire areas, and employees happy to say they work for the town of Landis. Rebecca Powell has only been here since December, but she has transformed our utility services department. We are now fully utilizing the technology of our AMI meters. We'll be transitioning to a new bill format in May that is more informative for our customers, and have brought a customer portal online this month as well. She has developed the portal to make it possible for our customers to understand their usage, receive notifications when there is a significant change in usage, and receive reminders to make a payment. From a financial perspective, we changed auditing firms and received a clean audit with no findings for the first time in quite some time. We were also selected by the North Carolina Treasurer's Office as one of 20 small towns to receive a second audit by their team. We successfully passed that audit as well. While for most towns, this would be an expected, simple outcome, I believe the results of both of these audits confirm the progress we have made since mid-year 2019, when the Local Government Commission considered taking control of the town. The unassigned general fund balance started this year at $1,095,817, or 27.85%. We hope to add $200,000 to that, while also paying off the garbage truck, a partial fleet of police cars, and a fire truck. This will pay off all of the debt in the general fund except for loans on Town Hall and the Fire Department complex. This allows us to move to a financial policy of paying for capital at the time of purchase instead of always borrowing. There will be exceptions for really big ticket items, but we are moving forward with better planning and more fiscal responsibility. Improving our finances is critical to preparing us for future growth. While we still have room for improvement, we are positioned for continued success. With a successful 2021 almost behind us, this budget positions us to build upon what we started last year, prepare for anticipated growth, and improve in service levels for our current citizens. The overall proposed budget totals $12,023,730, down 5.31% from the current year appropriation of $12,698,172. Major contributing factors to this decrease include the elimination of a rebate from electricities and a decrease in electric rates offset by increases in usage, an anticipated increase in sales tax, and the use of fund balance appropriated to pave streets. Perhaps the greatest change in this year's budget is not a financial change, but a change in appearance that comes from combining the water and sewer enterprise funds into one fund. The new combined fund establishes a department for each, but allows for them to combine revenues and debt. These funds go hand in hand and are often combined by other municipalities. The change will position the fund to operate completely independent of other funds. That is, fees charged by the fund will support the expenses to provide the service. A breakdown by fund follows. General fund revenue and expenditures. General fund revenues total $4,020,663, down 1.11% from the current year of $4,056,908. In the current year, the general fund received a transfer from electric of $350,000. This was part of a rebate from electric cities and not in any way a recurring revenue stream. We are moving away from having enterprise funds transfer money between themselves or to the general fund. All funds should stand financially on their own. Offsetting the reduction from electric fund is an appropriation of fund balance in the amount of $327,800. While we typically do not want to use fund balance, this is an exception because it is a restricted portion of fund balance that has been established for paving roads. These POW bill funds have been saved for a few years to give us enough to partner with DOT on their contracts. On the expenditure side, we are adding some personnel where needed and eliminating debt payments with payoff this year to cover some of those recurring costs. In addition, we will contract for a full year for IT services with VC3. This will fund one of our primary goals to improve internet and phone services. Administration. Salaries in this department are slightly lower because the current year includes funding for a planner. We are proposing to expand our relationship with InFocus for planning and zoning. The increase in this line item will allow us to utilize the expertise of Richard Flo for a number of complicated projects that are on the horizon. We have also eliminated COVID expenses from the upcoming budget. Auditing fees are up, and beautification has been moved from recreation to administration for the direction from the board on projects. We have included part-time consulting as needed for Mr. Barefoot and potentially someone for financial services. We will be keeping all financial reporting and operations in-house, but there is a possibility we will use a retired, experienced former director for the finance position. Public safety. While this area encompasses both police and fire, we are budgeting the department separately because of differences in hours worked and potential complications in the payroll system. Police. The most significant changes in this department are the elimination of capital outlay and a reduction in the grant expense of $20,000. Together, these savings make up $77,864 of the $97,713 reduction from the current budget. We are also adding a part-time position. This salary line item will not need to change as the number of hours required is not changing. We just need to have more people to access for coverage when full-time employees are out. Fire. An increase of $301,868 in this department is driven by funding for 3 additional firemen and an increase in capital of $53,800. The capital increase is caused by the need for additional PPE and replacement of expired SCBA units. Streets. The $468,043 increase in this department is driven primarily by the partnering with DOT on street paving for $450,000. We have also reallocated 2 employees from electric as their job responsibilities classify them as street employees. Sanitation. There are no significant changes in sanitation. We will increase the cost for the second trash can from $8 to $10. Our current rate does not cover our cost for this service. Recreation. An increase of $92,312 shows that a lot is happening in recreation. We are excited to open the pool at full capacity and to bring lifeguards and management of that facility in-house. You will see the cost transition from service contracts in this budget to part-time salaries in the upcoming budget. We have seen a tremendous increase in the use of the Collier Wilderness Park. The proposed budget includes funding for a playground and an additional cabin or 2. To assist with all the growth, we are making one of our part-time positions full-time. Debt service. The current budget pays off a pool renovation project of $98,474 and the Coyer Wilderness Park project of $285,690. In addition, we will be bringing a budget revision to the June meeting to fund the payoff of the garbage truck at $36,019, police cars at $142,621, and a fire truck at $141,802. Eliminating these debts free up a significant amount of cash that can be used to support recurring costs and allow for the purchase of capital as needed instead of funding with loans. There will be times loans are required, but it will be our financial policy to fund most vehicles and equipment through annual budgets. Water and sewer revenues and expenses. As mentioned earlier, the water fund and sewer fund are combining into one for the upcoming budget. This allows the fund to be self-sustaining and is more efficient from an accounting perspective. When combined, the year-over-year change for the department is from the elimination of a transfer between these funds, thus making it not material. Stormwater. We will be adding a canopy over our fuel tanks at Public Works to comply with stormwater requirements. We are also funding a stormwater plan that should be ready early in the year at $25,000. An increase in projected revenues is sufficient to cover the additional expense. Electric. The electric fund is now in a financial position to reduce rates by 1 cent. That will reduce our revenues by $327,217. However, part of that reduction is being offset by an increase in demand because of an increase in customers. We also lowered our estimated revenue last year because of COVID. In addition, we will not be receiving a rebate from Electric Cities next year. That rebate was $950,000 this year. Overall, the electric fund is decreasing by $825,307, or 12.35%. We are seeing a lot of activity in the planning area that indicates building is increasing in our area and thus the need for utilities. To prepare for the current and continued growth, we are adding one Class B lineman and a position to split between electric and water to cover daily utility service requests. We are also proposing to hire a part-time collections agent to work between 10 and 2 at Town Hall. A conversion project to 12 kV was started some time ago and only completed to 75%. That work will be completed with funding in the upcoming budget. Along with the purchase of a pickup truck, we will also be buying out the lease on a line truck. All of these increases in expenses are offset by the elimination of transfers to other funds. I wanted to also let you know a little bit more about the 12 kV project. That project reduces our line loss, and we are complete to about, like I said, 75%. Our employees will be able to help with a large part of that, but we will have to outsource some of it because we don't have the equipment to be able to do all of it. But we have prepared for that in the budget, and I think it'll be a good improvement for the town. Personnel. Our employees move us forward as an organization and a town. Just as they take care of the town, we have a responsibility to provide fair wages and benefits to them. Our current turnover rate is 17.5%. The cost for new training and lost productivity is $27,000 for each employee that has to be replaced. To reduce our turnover and fairly provide for employees, we are recommending a cost of living adjustment of 2% for all of our employees and funding of a merit program that will start in October. In conclusion, people often think of budgets and finance as boring. I would suggest that it tells an exciting story of where we have been, where we are, and where we are going. This budget shows us the progress we made this year and presents a new year that will be filled with growth, continued process improvements, better levels of service to our citizens and our customers, and finally the path to be a better place next year than we are this year. I again want to thank the staff for their help in developing the budget. This is not my budget. It is the town's budget, put together by town staff. We started at the department level with requests and have worked together to deliver the product you have in hand tonight. This leadership team is better than most in much larger municipalities. I am honored and humbled to have the opportunity to work with them every day. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the mayor and the board members for your passion for the town of Landis. You often receive a lot of complaints and are rarely given thanks for the hours you spend giving to this community. I also want to thank you for your confidence in me and the opportunity to be town manager. I am privileged to be a part of the team. The future is bright in Landis. Respectfully submitted, Diane Seifert, town manager. So I think most of you have seen some of this ahead of time. Are there any questions I can answer tonight?
I got a question. So why do we need a part-timer between 10 and 2?
That is when we receive a lot of our walk-ups, and it's also at the same time that we're trying to do our lunch hours. And we also would utilize that person to free up some of our other folks to do some additional tasks that we have around town hall that we are all beyond capacity right at this moment, and just to have an extra hand to help out with some administrative tasks would be a huge addition.
Would it not be feasible if we closed town hall for an hour so everybody can take their lunch at one time?
We could certainly do that. I think it would, we would want to think about the impact to our customers that also often come on their lunch hour to pay.
October for that.
Okay.
My question would be, about the IT services with BC3. When will that start? I know we had voted on it.
Well, they have actually started or in the process of transitioning us. Our biggest hurdle was to get over how to facilitate receiving our AMI meters. We had to set up a different process to be able to make that happen, and to find a provider that could do that and provide the services in-house. I met with them this last week, and this morning we'll meet again on Thursday to receive a project timetable. They are also coming to your June meeting to give you a presentation on what has been accomplished, where we're going, and what you can expect.
So I guess my next question would be, is there a primary time frame that it will, is that what they're gonna tell us in June?
That's what they're gonna tell you. I'll have a better idea.
Okay.
But my goal, well, my anticipation is, and I could be wrong, I may hear something different on Thursday, but I'm hopeful that we'll have our internet service completed for our June meeting. Then the next step would be that we bring our phones over to their service. And then the next step after that would be that we convert our computer systems. They are out of date and are getting ready to start crashing. So part of our contract has them bringing in their equipment to provide us on a rolling replacement cycle. That will take a little bit longer because there is a shortage apparently in the supply chain for some of the equipment that we need. So that will take a little bit longer. But I anticipate that the internet and the phones will be happening within the next couple of months.
Okay.
So you're looking at, when you say a part-timer for the police department, is that like a part-time officer or someone to be in the office?
No, that's a part-time officer, and it's not really any more money. It's just that we need more bodies, and we wanted to be upfront about the fact that we were going to add a position, but the hours won't change. It's just that we need more people to be able to call on, to be able to have people to fill in when the officers are out sick or on vacation.
Yes, we do need more officers too.
Yes, we do.
Any questions, Mr. Stewart?
None at this time.
once you have a chance to do a deeper dive, please feel free to just give me a call, come in, we'll sit down and look at it together, and it will be available for the public as well.
Is there a time frame on when the canopy has to be in for stormwater?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I do have one thing there.
Okay,
Let's
you-
see, for the, energy charge is 9.5 cents. Is that right?
Yes,
That is what a customer pays?
yes.
You ever find out what Duke is?
I've heard
for years that we were 10%, 15% higher than Duke.
right.
If we can clear the air on that, that would be great.
Yes, I am working on trying to find that number. It's not as easy to find as it seems like it would be.
I had heard it, what, 10.1 maybe?
I do
I'm not
think,
sure.
I do think that this is going to make us very competitive with them. And I will continue to work on that and try and have it for you at our public hearing.
However, a decrease is way better than an increase.
That's right, that's right. And that's 9.5 cents for our residential customers.
And commercial stays the same, right?
Commercial stays the same. If there are no other questions, I'll go on to the manager's report. I wanted to, take a few minutes tonight to update you that we had a lengthy agenda, last meeting, and I didn't wanna.
1 second.
Is this okay?
Just trying to see. Rebecca, it's on, it's just delayed.
Are you seeing it?
I can hear myself talking through here.
My heart's gonna come out of my chest.
I know, I think you're fine.
Okay.
We're almost finished, so just a few more minutes and we'll be good.
Yes, we're good, cause I can hear myself.
So, I wanted to take a few minutes tonight to give you a manager's report. We did not do that last meeting because of our lengthy agenda. And it's hard to believe another month has passed since I first accepted the opportunity to be your town manager. Perhaps the old adage, time flies when you're having fun, is appropriate. As a staff, I think we are enjoying our work, but I also believe that time goes fast when you are busy. And we have definitely been challenged with a lot to do over the past month. We entered into a contract to have background checks completed. I wanted to let you know that. That's one of the obligations that we have with our contracting policy. We are using a company called Castle Branch. Their basic background screening process is $27.50. We use them to screen all of our lifeguards that are currently coming on board. And we think that some of the ones that we need to do, like when we hire a finance officer, that will need to be a little bit more in depth of a screening, so it will cost a little bit more. But the $27.50 is very competitive. I want to send out a thanks to a lot of work by Rebecca Powell on our utility portal. It is now up and available for sign up. We did have some confusion. Everyone hopefully received a postcard, and what we thought was going to be an L was entered as an I in a lot of locations, and that did not work, obviously. So for any of you who are watching and haven't been successful in signing up, you're welcome to either drop an email to the Utility Services Department, call, and Rebecca will walk you through it. Come in and we will help you with it. Or look on our website, and we have a link there that you can just click and it will take you right where you need to be. And also on our Facebook page, there is a link as well that you can click and will take you right directly to the sign-up page. We have not had a lot of complaints from our citizens over the past month on garbage pickup. That is the good news. Unfortunately, we have not been successful in getting additional cans. I sent an email this afternoon with an idea on how we can solve that problem. I'll keep you posted on what I hear back from Waste Pro. On the personnel front, our new partner from InFocus, Bill Bailey, has started and is in the office on Tuesdays. The finance officer's position has been posted, and we are also working on several possibilities to retain an experienced part-time person while we look for that full-time replacement. I received an email today from Shane Stewart. He is the Assistant Planning Director for Rowan County, concerning the administration of our floodplain ordinance that was adopted at our last meeting. That was part of your UDO process. Currently, until now, Rowan County has administered our floodplain ordinance for us. They are now requiring any municipality that wants them to continue to administer that program to adopt the Rowan County floodplain ordinance. That is not the same as our floodplain ordinance. I thanked Mr. Stewart for their past service and informed him that going forward, we will administer our own plan. I have talked with InFocus. They are aware and have indicated that it will not be an issue, nor will it be time consuming. With springtime and rain, grass is growing quickly, and we have had a number of complaints from citizens about the need for neighbors to mow their grass. We are sending these complaints to John Gaines for code enforcement. I have attached in your package an update from John on current issues that he's handling. I've also attached a list of sites we recently sent him that he will be getting to in the next couple of weeks. Hopefully we will have another update from him before our next meeting. He indicated on our call that he is working on each of the ones with comments from March. I know that this seems like a long process, but you have to communicate to the resident. Give them a certain amount of time and then go back. So we are now to the go back stage for the ones that were contacted in March. And I think we will have an update from him on the status for those locations at our next meeting. We held our first employee appreciation meal and celebration last Friday. Thank you to Amber for all of her hard work to organize and pull that event together. It was refreshing to see our departments intermingling with each other, working together to build birdhouses for the park, and having fun with a couple of games. I cannot thank Amber enough for all she is doing as our Human Resources Officer. Just today, she onboarded 14 new part-time positions for the pool. She's the town clerk and attends all of our meetings and records accurately everything for them, and is taking on the title of the interim finance I have for this evening. Thank you again for the opportunity to be part of the team. Are there any questions?
I do not have a question.
No questions.
I'd just like to add that on that utility portal, I was putting the I in there like you were saying, but it also wouldn't take my email address as it is.
Oh, really?
I was putting a little d, it made me do a capital D. I don't know if anybody else is having that trouble, but it wouldn't accept my email address with lowercase letters. Had to have a capital D. I don't know why.
I think that's the first time we've heard that, isn't it?
Now, I don't know if that I might have been the problem, but I had to, it shows up as a capital.
Were you doing it on your phone or
Yeah,
your,
my phone,
and do you have Apple or Android?
Android.
That might be your problem.
It kept telling me when I put my email address in, it would say that was an invalid email address. And it would make it go capital. I
Okay.
kept taking it out, so I left it.
And it went.
Yeah.
Mine works on my Apple phone. I think Katie had said she didn't think hers would work from her phone, but then she was able to do it on her computer. But it could have been that uppercase from an Android.
Is that available? Can you see those meters real time? And,
It's Rebecca.
Rebecca.
That's all right. They answer to each other.
We do answer for each other.
We do it all the time in
She
the
does.
office.
So, with the AMI meters, electric does report in, relatively pretty quickly. However, the water meters do take several hours to report back through. I think it's a 4-hour minimum on the water meters for our turnaround, where electricity is pretty immediate for us. And as for the lettering, I would agree with the mayor. Usually, that is something that is on your phone, not necessarily a computer type of issue. Our phones are designed in both Apple and Android to attempt to autocorrect anything that it deems as a name or the beginning of a sentence. So it's a good possibility that's the case. I'm really good with Apple. I'm learning Android, but I'm really good with Apple. And I know that did that for me when I was trying, because I signed into one of our Town of Landis accounts just so that I could see what you guys were seeing and experience what maybe anybody else would be experiencing. But the phone calls have been helpful to be able to troubleshoot with people. So if you have any concerns when you're trying to sign into this portal, please feel free to give me a call, because I can help you walk you through and learn the step for step. And also there is the options on there to be able to set parameters on if you're looking to try and get your bill under control. So if you'd like some help establishing those parameters, please feel free to contact Utility Services and we'll help you.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you.
It's time to have a motion to adjourn.
Mayor and Board, I move that we adjourn tonight's meeting.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.